What is going on, everyone? Welcome back. The podcast has returned after a couple of days on hiatus. And today, we've got a lot to talk about. Yesterday was our first ever major Silksong stream. How did it go? Also, an update on some of the stuff going on YouTube, because now I'm starting to see an actual effect on my channel. And I just want to let you know exactly what I'm talking about and what it means. Also, positivity in droves. We've got all kinds of great stuff coming up, including we must lock in what will be the next episode of DSP Tries It, because we're actually doing the new episode today and we need a new goal. And next week, it looks like we may have some extra time, and therefore we may want to add a chill game into the rotation. But what? Should we go back to an old tried and true? Should we try something new? It's going to be a fun conversation about all of this and more on today's awesome return episode of the Level 1 Podcast. Alrighty, good morning, everyone, and welcome to the show. Today is Thursday, September 11th, 2025, and therefore, before we get into any kind of positive festivities, before we start talking about all the stuff here on my channel, we should take a moment out and a moment away to remember the events of September 11th, 2001, particularly those of us here who live in the United States and lived through it. A day of tragedy, a day of misery, a day of shock, horror, a day that actually changed the way that many Americans have to go about their daily lives. I mean, particularly travel has been so different ever since. And therefore, let's all just, for one moment, think about the lives that were lost at the World Trade Center and the Pentagon. But not only that, but the other half of the story, those who were first responders, those who showed up to aid those who were victims of the attack and also were victims of all kinds of debilitating disease and problems over the years. So never forget, right? And, I'm sure today there'll be a lot of discussion about it, and, it's warranted. What else can you say, right? Okay. So all that being said, now let's move forward positively, okay? And today we have quite a lot to talk about going on, right? First off, Silksong. We actually did a major stream of Hollow Knight Silksong yesterday, per your request. It went really well. I'd like to give some, thoughts on the game now that I'm a good chunk into it and let you know how I'll be moving forward with it. We also have DSP Tries It today, which I'm very excited for. It is the Taco Bell Y2K Decades menu, and that will be happening on this very stream at the tail end of it. So we'll talk about that. Of course, this means we now need to determine what will be the next DSP Tries It, because as you can see, the goals have reset. And people are going to want to know, well, what are we working toward for the next episode? So we have some options to discuss, one of which is a returning option of something that I did about a year ago, and I really enjoyed it. It was original and different, and we can actually go back and try it again and do new stuff. Or if anyone else has some ideas of things that are going on with food that you'd like to see me test, maybe it's a restaurant doing a new promotion, a new limited time item or whatever, I'd like to know. So we could talk about this today. and try to figure this out so we can lock it in so we know what we're working toward. Okay. But in addition, next week is going to be kind of a weird week. Number one, next week is going to be an incredibly short week for me. 4 days of streaming. Typically, my shortest week is around 5. Usually, my week is 6. Next week, only 4 days, Sunday through Wednesday. I'm going to have 2 days off on Thursday and Friday of next week. Okay. So, because of that, the schedule will be shortened, and we need to talk about what games are going to be in the schedule, in what capacity, but also about the possibility of bringing back chill streaming. And what I mean by that is, for 4 straight months, we had 2 games that were my chill stream games that kind of calmed everything down. We had Minecraft, and then we had American Truck Simulator. And those games, for the most part, served as the things that broke up the schedule so that it wasn't always intense major playthroughs, challenging games. It was more relaxed atmosphere. We could all sit back and enjoy each other's company and have a good time with interaction and fun, and not necessarily worry so much about, oh, what are we doing in the game tonight, right? And I liked having those. But the thing is, just like everything else, things can get played out, things can get tired. When you're doing them regularly instead of sparingly, they become less special. And honestly, that's exactly what happened. Was over the course of 4 months, people got tired of Minecraft, people got tired of Truck Sim, and they stopped showing up, they stopped engaging, and they stopped supporting the streams. So with that, obviously we said, well, let's move on and do other stuff. And so if you haven't noticed, in the past couple of weeks, there's been no Minecraft and no Truck Sim. And already I'm starting to get a cry from the viewers. What happened? Where's the chill content? We're not just here for ultra difficult stuff. And if you look at my schedule right now, we've got Chronos: The New Dawn, a very difficult survival horror game. We've got Gears of War Reloaded on hardcore difficulty. And now we've got Hollow Knight Silksong, arguably one of the best, but also one of the most difficult Metroidvanias ever in history. So we went from big chill to big thrill, but some people just want to relax with Phil. So we got to talk about that. Do we bring back chill content next week in some capacity? And if we do, what do we do? Do we bring back something we've already done? Do people have ideas for something new? Let's talk about all of that. All right. And then lastly, today we're doing Suikoden 2 on this stream. Okay. Historically, here is what happens when I play Suikoden 2. Whatever we do before it does really well. But as soon as I start playing the game, most of you turn tail and run for the hills because you can't stand classic JRPGs for some bizarre reason. I don't know if it's too retro for you. You think it's boring because it's slow paced. Maybe you just have no attention span. I don't know. But people will turn tail and run. And that means the attendance on the stream goes down. That means the support on the stream becomes non-existent. Okay? Like, no exaggeration. Last time that I played Suikoden 2 earlier this week, I think we made like $50 on the podcast, which was great. And then the entirety of me playing the game, I made $20. So we didn't even hit halfway to a goal when I played Suikoden 2. I don't want that to be the status quo around here when I play this game, or in the future when I play classic JRPGs. So what I'm going to say is this. Today, during this podcast, which we're going to discuss a lot of interesting topics, there's going to be a lot of interaction. Please support the content right now. Okay? If we get enough support on the pre-stream, it doesn't matter if people turn tail and run during Suikoden, because we'll be good. I won't have to worry about it. So let's go. Let's get some support rolling, please. If you like the content, you like the podcast, you like everything that's been going on recently, you like everything I just mentioned, please support today. Let's get some stuff rolling. We'll get some shout-outs going. We'll get that positivity going. And therefore, when I start playing the actual JRPG, I don't have to be like, wow, it's a ghost town. Okay? There you have it. In reality, I do hope that we'll get back some of the viewership for DSP Tries It. Because what I'm going to do is I'm going to play Suikoden 2 for about 2 hours, and then probably around 3:30-ish in the afternoon is when the food will be arriving, and that's when we're going to do DSP Tries It. So hopefully some of the people will come back, because we haven't done an actual episode of DSP Tries It that's food-related in almost 2 weeks. It's actually been more than 2 weeks, because we did the Flight of Beers as well as the Calorie Mate, and that was all over 2 weeks ago, if you didn't know. So it'll be great to get back on track with that, okay? So, speaking of which, how's everyone this morning? Good morning to everyone. Who do we got here? We got King Furbs. Jade, how are you this morning? It's good to see you. Schnitzel Sandwich, Jimmy John, Chris, Ian, Copium, Facehugger, Squirtle. That's on the YouTube side. Over on the Kick side, we got Phil Loves Fuse, Moose Knuckle, RGB Kings. We got, who's this? Here's the deal. Captain Base Pants is here. Let's see. Big Bar. Who else is here today? Slasher, LJJ, Grandmaster Scrub, The Roman Victor. What's up? What's up? Dancing Israeli. Are you dancing? Are you really dancing right now? Cool. Space Jam fam, Wrigley, Digbix. What's going on? Digbix representing the UK gang this morning. Harundum is here. Cool. Buckwell is here. I didn't even know Buckwell was here. He just spoke up. All right, good to see you. Real huge asshole. How are you? You are a real huge asshole. Your name. I'm not saying anything else. It's just your name. Okay? Cool. It's good to have you all here. Welcome to the show. First contribution came in from Obama Kla, a $2 super chat. I said, never forget 9/11, and then talked about Jamaicans. I don't know what that has to do with 9/11. But thank you for the first contribution of the day. Excellent. Thank you so much. I think what we will do, we'll begin talking about like DSP Tries It and ideas soon. What I want to talk about right now is the thing going on YouTube. I briefly mentioned this the other day, and I just want to let you all know there's no cause for alarm or anything, but I just want to let everyone know what's going on, okay? So the other day I talked about this, that content creators across YouTube have been bringing up this weird topic, that they're noticing a distinct downturn in their viewership. It wasn't me saying this. It was all of YouTube. People who basically rely on views to be like their life's blood. And they had noticed that over the last week to 2 weeks, that all of their views have tanked. They're releasing their normal content. It's all in line with what people watch on their channels. Yet it's saying that both overall viewership and engagement is way down on all of their content. We're talking people are saying their views are down like 50%. Okay, which is pretty insane to think, a 50% dip in views. What the hell happened, right? Everyone's speculating what it could be. One piece of speculation is that there is what's called a restricted mode on YouTube, where if you put your channel into restricted mode, it will like hide 90% of the content on YouTube, thinking that it's all like, oh, it's adult content. It's not anything you want to watch. So for example, we tested it with my channel. If you put my channel on restricted mode, the only videos you'll see is the Daily Wrap. You will never see a gameplay video. You'll never see a podcast. You'll only see the Daily Wrap. That's it. You'll think the only content I put out is the Daily Wrap, which would make no sense because what are you wrapping up if all you're doing is the Daily Wrap, right? So, that was speculation number one. Do I actually believe that? No, I don't think that's really what's going on. Here's what I think is happening. And of course, this is based purely on my experience being a YouTuber for 17 years, okay? I think YouTube changed the algorithm again. I think that YouTube has, number one, changed the way that videos are showing up in related and things like that. And number two, I think that YouTube has changed the way that views are recorded. I also think that YouTube has once again decided not to disclose this to anyone in the public. So overnight, you're a creator, you're making content, your viewers are engaged with it and like it and watching it, but for some reason, it's claiming that your views are down, right? Does it make any sense? No. But this has happened before. I talked about this a few days ago, that years and years ago, when I was a prominent gamer on YouTube, I had videos that historically would always be recommended videos if you were looking for a certain subject matter. If you were looking for Spider-Man or Spider-Man Web of Shadows or Spider-Man Shattered Dimensions or just Spider-Man video game, my playthroughs would pop up. Videos that had millions upon millions of views would be high up in the rankings on YouTube. And then one day YouTube flipped a switch, said, we don't want any legacy content like that to get views anymore. We only want new content to be pushed through the algorithm, not old content. And overnight, all of my videos were removed from YouTube search. I actually tested this the other day live on the channel when I typed in Spider-Man Shattered Dimensions. If you just type that in, my videos don't show up, but I have the number 2 most viewed video of the game on all of YouTube, over 3 million views, but it doesn't show up in search. But videos of people who only have like 100,000 views show up in search. So YouTube changes the algorithm all the time. They never publicly disclose when they do. They do it for their own purposes. You have to understand that over the years, YouTube as a business has pivoted many different directions. At one point, are you aware of this? YouTube wanted to actually be like an alternative to real television. And all of the metrics that they actually used to grade quality, to grade if your channel was healthy, were based on viewership metrics as if you were a TV station, which makes absolutely no sense. You're not a TV station. You're not putting out videos at the same quality, at the same frequency, at the same budgeting as a TV station. So why is YouTube using criteria as if you're a broadcast network to judge if your channel's any good? Because they don't know what they're doing. I'm going to repeat something that I've said over the years, all right? And this is my firm opinion, and I doubt it's ever going to change. The people who work at YouTube are Ivy League trained, silver spoon in the mouth, really leftist, and basically don't know what real life is all about, okay? They have these weird criteria that they use to judge what's good and what's bad. They're not like you and me. They grew up in a whole different world than us, okay? Quite frankly. They've always been pampered. They're basically immune to any kinds of criticism, and therefore, they run their whole business like that. They think they're better than you and me. They think that they're very much smarter than you and me, despite the fact that we're the people who use YouTube every day, and we understand the ins and outs of how it works. We know what people want to see. They think they know better. So they will literally just change the algorithm. It will completely change the way that the site works from the ground up. They won't even tell anyone they did it and be like, oh, well, we know what we're doing. Doesn't matter what you say. And there's been tons of times over the years when YouTube creators have gone to YouTube and said, you changed something and broke the site. Please believe us. And YouTube will be like, no, there's no evidence of that. That's not true. So then they'll present evidence. Well, what about this? Well, what about this? Oh, no, I don't know what you're talking about. That's not evidence of anything. And just what you're saying isn't true. Okay? So I feel like the whole views debacle going on YouTube right now is just another case of this, because this has happened, probably, no exaggeration, 20 to 30 times over the years, where YouTube just said, we're just going to change something. But wait, we like that thing. Why are you taking it away? Or we used it. It was really useful. Why is it going away? Or wait, you're adding a feature now, but we don't want that feature. We don't actually think that's good or will benefit us. It's actually detrimental. They don't care. They'll do whatever they want. So in this case, I really do feel like views aren't counting the same way, okay? How can I tell? Well, just take a look at my videos for the last couple of weeks, okay? Notably, taking a look at some of the playthroughs that I'm putting out right now, okay? Suikoden 2, typically, wouldn't get many views within the first 24 hours, but within a few days, each video would get around 200 to 300 views. And it's been like that for the whole playthrough for several weeks, okay? What about a hot new game like Silksong? Well, the first few parts did really well. But how is Silksong performing now? Are you aware? According to YouTube, no one's watching Silksong. I want you to think about that. This is a playthrough that when I started it on Thursday, everyone was shocked that I was playing it. Everyone ran and watched part 1. Then I did a night stream of it the other night. The views on there are quite good. Yesterday, I did my first ever major stream of it. People showed up, engaged, and supported. It was a great stream. YouTube says, oh, no one's interested. But it's literally the most engaged and supported stream I've done in weeks. People loved the stream and supported it. Oh, no one wants to watch that. The fuck are you talking about? Yeah, according to YouTube, the Silksong videos are doing absolutely terrible in viewership. No one is checking them out. Sorry, I have to be a little skeptical on that, okay? Same thing with the Chronos playthrough, where when I started it on Friday, it was a little bit slow to hit the ground, to be honest, but it was still decent viewership, okay? And then the second session did pretty good. And then all of a sudden, the videos that I did the other day, oh, no one's watching them. Everyone was interested at the beginning. Now, all of a sudden, in the middle, when the game's getting harder and I'm dying more, no one wants to watch. I'm sorry, YouTube. I just don't think that I believe you. I just can't. I'm not stupid. All right? The truth is, For someone like me, it doesn't affect me. Why? The vast majority of income that I actually make is based on contributions during live streams. Okay. Subs on Kick, memberships, super chats, and super stickers or tips during live streams. That's the vast majority of my income. Now, I'm not saying that I make nothing on YouTube for your ad revenue and views. That would be ridiculous. There is an ongoing amount of income that I get from ad revenue and views. And if I take a look at my viewership, okay, it does say that for me, it's just like everyone else, because it's not just me, it's been across the board. YouTube is telling me that my views are down slightly. Okay, if I'm actually being honest here, taking a look month to month, um, let me click on views here. Look at my analytics. Oh, what? Wow, gee, thanks for only showing me videos. Here it is. It is showing that there was a decline in viewership starting around 2 weeks ago. Now, it did spike a bit again since then. I don't know if that's because I started playing new games. Maybe that is what it is. Okay. But it is showing a decline, like as if views did taper off and go like downward, but now they're going back up. It doesn't make any sense. Why would that be? There's no point. There's no reason. Literally, there's no reason why that would be. It just is according to YouTube. Okay. So, FYI, don't be worried. All right. It's not the end of the world at all. As long as you guys keep showing up, engaging, and supporting the content during the live streams. And if we do have people who come back and do occasionally contribute who watch on demand, because they do. Every once in a while, we'll have someone come by and they're like, hey, so, I'm watching your playthrough on demand. I can't make every stream, but here's a contribution. As long as we have that going on, I'm okay. All right. My channel's lasted long enough. I have enough of a body of content. My streams are regular enough that I'm good. But you know who this will affect? Other creators who rely on video views on their videos that they put out very infrequently. So example, maybe a YouTuber who's like a video essayist, right? Who puts out a video maybe once a month, once every 2 weeks about a certain topic. They're going to be affected in a really bad way, to be honest. Maybe someone who's like a reviewer who only does like big in-depth reviews of a movie or a game or a series. They're going to be affected because they're mostly basing their income and revenue on viewership and ad revenue and or supplemental income. Here's the thing. A lot of those kind of YouTubers get sponsorships, right? They'll be plugging a food delivery service or Dollar Shave Club or whatever the thing of this week is currently. That's the big one, right? The thing is, if their views dip, what if they're losing 10%, 20%, 30%, 50% of their viewership? That's a bad thing because now those sponsors will look at them and be like, oh, that's bad. I don't want to give a sponsorship to someone who's not getting as many views anymore. They're on a downward trend. I'm going to save that sponsorship for someone who's fresh and new. I hate to say it. This could be one of the things that YouTube is doing. YouTube could intentionally be saying, we want a refreshing of the site. We're tired of seeing the same people get the views, and we want to actually push views towards different people. And therefore, we're going to make it that views just aren't counting the same anymore. Maybe they changed the criteria. Maybe now you need to watch even more of a certain percentile of a video for it to actually count as a view. Maybe they're no longer counting ad block views. Did you ever think of that? That YouTube can detect if you're running an ad blocker, and if you are, they just say, well, your view doesn't count. That could be. So, I don't know. To be honest, again, it's not a big deal for me because I've been here long enough. My streams do well enough, but I see this as being a big problem for people who have a different business model. For example, if I was still operating on my old business model, which was just pump out an insane amount of gameplay in one day, don't do any interaction on streams or anything like that. Instead, just push videos. Like this would literally crush my viewership. It would crush my business. So I'm glad that I changed and adopted. And I feel like if this continues, if this actual distinct change continues, all right, and the viewership remains much lower, what's going to end up happening is creators who you used to see only make on-demand videos are going to have to change. They're now going to have to start do streams. They're going to do other kinds of topics and things that they didn't cover before and have to try to find a way to monetize it. You're going to see a lot of people now adopting subscription bases, like, oh, privatized videos that you can only see if you're a member, or pledge to my Patreon, and on there I do an exclusive show. You're going to start seeing a lot more of that kind of stuff. All right. And what happens when that happens is now you're required to pay. The whole model of, oh, I just watch someone's content on demand and the ad revenue is what I pay them with is going to go away. Okay? So what YouTube doesn't realize they're doing, if they are doing this, is they're shooting themselves in the foot. Because what's going to end up happening is people are going to move to monetization models that cut YouTube out of the picture. They're not going to care about ad revenue anymore. They're going to say, come to my Patreon or buy this product that's sponsoring me, right? Instead of, oh, just watch my videos and get ad revenue. So again, the oh so smart people who work at YouTube, Ivy League trained, right? Spoon in the mouth, pampered their whole lives, rich bitches who think that they're so brainiac intelligent and better than all of us are coding the site out of their own revenue model because they're that stupid. They're actually going to hurt themselves more. But there you go. Who knows what's really going on? But ultimately, I don't want you to worry. Like, for example, I looked at the Silksong videos from yesterday thinking, gee, how are people enjoying them? I look at the views. I'm like, how many views did it get? What? So just to give you an example of what I'm talking about, okay? It's actually claiming that of the 3 Silksong videos I released yesterday, one of them has 400 views. One of them has 245 views, and one only has 202 views. So you're going to tell me I had more people watching on my live stream than are interested in watching the video after the fact. Do you really think I believe that? That has never happened in the entire history of me streaming, that I got overall more viewers on the live stream than on the on-demand videos. That doesn't make any fucking sense at all. YouTube is just not counting views. But the thing is, I don't care. I'm not going to freak out about it because I would have made pennies on those videos anyway on demand. It's about you guys supporting the stream. And yesterday was one of the best supported streams I have had in weeks. We hit 2 goals and then some. We unlocked DSP Tries It. We had a great time. Really. What I like to do, I do want to talk just a little bit about Silksong because I'm enjoying it so much, and we will do that in a moment. Okay. But man, if I believed that and I was worried about that, I'd be freaking out like, oh, I guess you guys don't want Silksong, huh? You want no more Silksong because you didn't watch the videos, right? I mean, I'd be a moron to even go off that data. The stream was incredibly well attended, well supported. Why would I believe that data that no one's watching the videos? I'd be a fucking idiot. Don't worry about it. The sky is not falling. It is not the end of the world. But I will say this. Please attend and support the streams. And if you are someone who watches the videos on demand, don't freak out if you're going to watch the video. You're like, why is the viewership so low? I don't even understand. I'm freaking out, right? Don't worry about that. Okay? It's not a big deal. But if you like the content, please leave a super thanks on the video if you can. Please leave a tip if you can. Or if you can actually find the time to come by and stop by a stream and support it, please do. That is my life's blood. Okay? Thank you. I really appreciate that because, again, with this weird fluctuation, people always tend to think the worst. I don't think anything bad is really happening. I think it's just nonsense, okay? So here we go. Someone just did a $2 tip and says, according to new data, a view is only counted if a view crosses over 50% of a video watch. If your videos are an hour, your viewers are going to have to watch 30 minutes. The site is trending towards instant gratification. Now, the funny part about that is, all right, if you remember years ago, all of my videos were 10 to 15 minutes long, to the point where everyone complained to me, Phil, why are your videos so short? They're way too short. We want longer videos. That's what everyone else is doing. And YouTube did an algorithm change that said, hey, it's now about engagement and length of content. So if you have a longer video that people watch, it's better than a short video. Seriously, that's what it was. It was watch time was actually the criteria that they used to figure out if a video is good or not. Okay? Now you're telling me years later, YouTube has decided, oh, longer videos are no good. Make short videos. Do you see my point about these brainiacs who work at YouTube who think they're so smart? They don't even agree with their own reasoning. They change it over the years because they're fucking stupid. So let's say you created an entire business based off of short videos like I did back in the day. And it was huge profitability in the ads and everything because I was doing 15-minute videos. Then they flipped the switch and all of a sudden overnight, no one's watching my videos and I'm making no ad revenue because everything's being pushed towards longer videos. So I changed my business. Let's make longer videos. Everyone gets used to hour-long videos. Oh, now short videos get credit again. Okay, I have a question, genuinely, for YouTube staff. Are you fucking stupid? Do you not understand that when you keep changing the criteria for what gets success on YouTube, you actually hurt those who make the content for you, that give you the fucking money, that lets your business operate? You have to set in stone how you're going to run things, tell everyone how it works, and then we'll abide by those criteria. Stop changing things with knee-jerk reactions, not telling anyone. All you're doing is shooting yourself in the foot and hurting everyone who's trying to make a living on your site. Well, let's face it, you'll never hear this opinion. You'll never see this video because you don't care. You don't. If you did, you'd actually be communicative with those who you affect. You'd say, hey, big site-wide changes coming, everyone. This algorithm is changing this way, and you need to know because we want your business to be... No, you don't care. If you did, that's what you would do. You never do that. You just change things behind the scenes because you're afraid. You're afraid of site backlash. You're afraid of public outcry. You're afraid of someone actually holding you accountable for your actions. So you hide your changes like a coward. Oh, I changed it, but I don't tell anyone that I did that. Let's just see how it goes, right? That's a cowardly act. You have no fucking courage whatsoever, no accountability, no transparency, no honesty. You're dishonest. You act like nothing's changed and you just let people's businesses tank. It's messed up. I'm a lucky person because I've been around for so long. I'm bulletproof. But there's people on YouTube right now who are working their asses off trying to make a living, being creators, and you are crushing them with your ignorance and your narcissistic egos. No one cares that you think you're smart. What we care about is if the site works and if we can make a living doing it and you don't screw us over. You can have your big egos there. You can ride your slides to different floors. You can eat your pomegrapples and you can wear whatever the hell you want. You can do your Pilates class and everything in the middle of your workday. Do whatever you want, but do us all a favor. Grow the fuck up. Start acting professional. Start being transparent and stop fucking people's livelihoods over because you're fucking pathetic. Every one of you over there who act like that, who change things, you're pathetic. You need to stop with the bullshit. And we're tired of it. 17 years in the business and I still got to put up with this shit? Why? Unbelievable. But again, here's the truth. The big YouTubers won't say shit. Mr. fucking Beast won't say a peep because Mr. Beast is beholden to the system. He needs you two. Get it? The big guys won't ever bite the hands that feed them. Right? Never. Never. They'll never speak out about this shit. That's the sad fact. I'm done talking about that subject now. I got it off my chest. But in a nutshell, if you want to support my content, please support the streams or do a super thanks or a tip. Come by every once in a while, say hello and support if you can. Basically, the views aren't even counting anymore. I can expect that probably ad revenue will dip, but overall, it probably won't really affect me that much, okay? Someone tipped me $5, says, you're doing great. Positive and optimistic. I'm proud of you. Don't let anyone get to you. Just keep your focus and have fun. Thank you. And I plan to. Trust me. I absolutely plan to keep going. It doesn't matter about this nonsense. I ignore it. I'm going to be here making content, having fun, doing what I love. And no one's going to hold me back or stop me from doing that. Because I know that what I do has meaning. People tell me every day how much that it means to them to be here and have consistent content, meaningful content. Just in the last 24 to 48 hours, I had people reaching out thanking me saying, so happy that I could come by your streams and watch your videos and enjoy and just unplug from what's going on in the real world right now. And I totally understand. Again, we've been through this before. We'll be through it again. Tough times. You need an escape. And that's what I aim to be, is an escape for people so that you don't have to worry about this shit going on out there, that's in this crazy world. Okay. And thank you to anyone who comes by and hangs out and enjoys the content for that reason. All right. John did a $2 super chat. He's talking about Wendy's. Well, maybe you should go to Wendy's and eat some chili. I've heard it's really good. Not my opinion. It's someone else's opinion. I think the Wendy's chili is disgusting. But maybe you should pour a couple gallons down your throat and then make your decision for yourself. Okay. All right. So that all being said, now that it's out of the way, okay, we're going to move on to other topics, but please support the stream. As I said, typically when I play Suikoden 2, sadly, as soon as I start playing the game, we see a big dip in attendance and a big dip of support. Let's get some support momentum going now so that when I play Suikoden, I don't have to worry about that. Let's get our first sub of the day over on Kick. Let's get our first member of the day on YouTube. Thank you for that $5 tip. How about we get us another super chat, because we only have one. And how about we get another tip? Let's get a little bit here of each different direction. And let's get it moving and going. Shall we? Cool. All right. So we have many topics to discuss. Okay. First topic, Silksong went really well yesterday. The game kicked my butt, but I persevered. I'm starting to understand a lot more about Silksong the further in that I play when it comes to the controls and the gameplay mechanics and things like that. I even did an optional dungeon that was very, very challenging, for sure. And I'm liking it. So for now, it stays in the rotation. And in fact, you guys supported it so well that it's going to be tomorrow. It wasn't going to be tomorrow originally. We were going to play it again on Sunday, but you guys supported in droves. And because you did, I said I would play it again tomorrow. So tomorrow's daytime stream is more Silksong. Again, I'm excited because we're heading into new regions, new abilities, and more challenges. As long as you guys keep coming by, engaging and supporting Silksong, it will stay in the rotation as a daytime stream and a major playthrough. So let's keep that going tomorrow. Let's have people show up, engage, and support. I hope you'll enjoy the videos, because the videos I think are great. It's showing me basically playing a game that I never played the first one, right? I only played the first one for like an hour during a marathon. And kind of trying to learn and adapt on the fly to everything going on in the game, learning new mechanics. And already I really like it. You got air dash, you got a hover now, where you can go slowly hovering down, or you can float on these like air columns or whatever. It's all awesome stuff. Like it's classic Metroidvania style stuff. I love it. I can't wait to play more Silksong, and I hope that you'll join me tomorrow for it. Okay? Cool. Okay. Oh, excuse me. It's some indigestion there. Sorry about that. Okay. So what we need to talk about are two different topics. Let's talk about the first. The first topic is DSP Tries It. Because today we are going to be doing on this very stream, DSP Tries It, the Taco Bell Y2K Decades menu, which is going to include 2 burritos. I think one is the 7-layer burrito, which is vegetarian. One's going to be the chili and cheese burrito. They've also brought back the Cool Ranch Doritos taco. They also have a cheesy gordita crunch version of that taco. And then they have a caramel apple empanada. Okay? So I'm going to be trying the whole menu. And I'm going to get their new soda, Baja Midnight, which is supposed to be a variation of their classic Baja Blast soda. And I'm excited to try that too. Okay? So it's going to be a huge taste testing episode of DSP Tries It, featuring these items that were out around the early 2000s, coming back onto their menu for a limited time. So I hope that you will stick around. That's going to take place on this stream around roughly 3:30 to 4 p.m. Pacific time. What I'm going to do is play Suikoden for about 2 hours, and then we're going to have the food arrive, and then we're going to go ahead and do the DSP Tries It, okay? So if you're interested, but you're not interested in Suikoden, but you're interested in DSP Tries It, please come by later between 3:30 and 4 p.m. That's when we're going to be doing that taste test episode, okay? Sweet. Now, what we have to figure out is what's next, okay? Because I definitely now, after having doing the flight of beers and doing the Calorie Mate snack, I want to get back on track because just so you know, those episodes did poorly in views compared to the episodes where I try food. People are used to DSP Tries It being a series where I try food. And the fact that we didn't do that, not to say that it's not good to do variety every once in a while. I think it is. But people wanted to get back on track. Okay? So, what are we going to do next? Okay? I have a couple ideas. The first idea is to return to a place that we tried last year and it went really well. And it's called Katsu Burger. This is a place where they take traditional food like a hamburger or a chicken patty / chicken breast from like a chicken sandwich, and they deep fry it in the katsu style of Japanese cuisine. They add a whole bunch of interesting toppings, and you come out with some really awesome sandwiches. As you can see, they do pork, they do chicken, they do beef, and they do tofu. So last time around, when we did this last year, we tried the katsu curry, which was pork with a curry sauce. Okay? And then we also tried the Godzilla Attack. Look at that thing. Okay? Which was beef with a whole bunch of stack of ingredients that made it spicy. Okay? It was great, for the record. We also tried their nori fries, which is French fries with like a seaweed, roasted seaweed on it. And we also tried their bonsai bites, which were katsu chicken bites, okay? Which were ultra good. They were super good. So this time around, if we do Katsu Burger, I think I'm going to try some different stuff. First off, I'm probably going to get the Ninja Deluxe, which is, again, the pork, but this time it's got cheddar cheese, bacon, tonkatsu sauce, and Japanese mayo. So it's not a curry flavoring, but instead it's going to be a more traditional flavoring of what they think should be like on their Katsu burgers. Also, I want to try this honey miso tofu. Organic miso marinated crispy tofu topped with a miso honey mustard. That sounds good. Like actually gourmet miso. For those who don't know, miso tofu basically is tofu, which is, the vegetarian. It's not real. It's not like animal meat. Okay. But miso is a flavoring that they typically use in soup that has tofu, miso soup. So I like the flavoring of miso. I think that would be really, really good. Okay? So I'll probably try those two. The only thing is, if people wanted me to try the teriyaki chicken, I would do that because that is a chicken katsu. But the thing is, I'm not going to get 3 sandwiches. So do I get the ninja? Do I get the honey miso tofu? Do I get the teriyaki? Which 2 do I get? We'd have to decide. This time around, I would probably get a different kind of fries, either the curry or the 12 spice fries. And I would try their korokke, which are Japanese deep fried croquettes with potatoes and vegetables. I've never had that before. So I would try all of that. Okay, I think that would be pretty cool. Now, already some people were like, well, why aren't you getting the giant burgers? Wouldn't that make the best DSP Tries It? But I think it would. The problem is there is 0 chance that those giant burgers would be delivered intact. If I order those, they're going to show up. They're going to have to wrap them. They're going to fall apart. They're not going to stack right. And how on earth would I eat that here in my studio? It's different if you're there at a restaurant on their table, you make a mess, who cares? But how the hell would I eat that here, right? So I would get them if I was there in person. I literally would probably try either one. They sound good, okay? But we're going to stick with these and do 2 smaller sandwiches, okay? So that's my idea for the next episode of DSP Tries It. But what I like to know is, do you guys know of any other things going on currently in American cuisine, whether it's a popular fast food chain, something else? Are you aware of anything that you would like to see me do for DSP Tries It? Okay? That's what I'd like to know. If you know of anything, let me know. I'm willing to look it up right now and see, if there's anything available. That would be better than this. I think that returning to Katsu Burger is a great idea. We really liked it. It was actually one of the most viewed episodes of DSP Tries It that I did last year. So I would hope that people would like the return. It's very photogenic. These sandwiches are huge. They are very photogenic sandwiches. Okay? Cool. Would I try different kinds of boba drinks? I could. There are a lot of different drink places out here that do boba drinks. And I'm aware that you could probably get different things in it. Like you probably get jelly candy things. You could probably get actual boba pods. You could probably get different kinds because some boba is like that tapioca stuff, but others actually has like it's like liquid inside. I could. The thing is, they're just not. I feel like a drink is something good to do along with a DSP Tries It. So, for example, today I'm doing the Taco Bell Decades menu, and I am going to try their new Baja soda. I think it works as a supplementary thing that we do. I don't think that it works as the entire episode. If I had 4 boba drinks sitting right in front of me or right here on my table right now, and I was like, here's the first one. Okay, it tastes like this. Wow. Here's the second one. Okay, it tastes like this. Here's the third one. Okay, there's nothing to really do with it. I can't really show you the drink. I can't pour the drink out and show it to you, right? I can't show you what it looks like as I eat it, look at the ingredients, tell you what it smells like. Drinks typically don't smell, right? There's a lot missing from a drink DSP Tries It. Take a look at the beer flight that I did. Yeah, it was interesting for me to describe the taste of the beers and to show you the head and the bubbles, but it just didn't work as well. Okay, it didn't. So, honestly, I don't think that it would make sense. Okay? There you go. All right, so Bryn Tag, okay, did a $10 super chat and says, would you consider something super weird? Like get a weird sushi or an odd international cuisine or something that would be funny. I love a more funny reacting. Sure. But the question is, what do you think that would be? I've done sushi and no one liked it. Actually, people thought that the sushi one I did was boring. They actually particularly said, not very interesting. I guess the question is, what would it be? And then I would have to see, like, what is that stuff available? You have to understand it has to be delivery. And that's kind of the problem is when you're thinking about what's an oddball cuisine, you probably go to the restaurant for it. You're not going to have it delivered, right? Because then you're not getting the authentic, the authentic situation, the authentic experience of whatever it is, right? People are saying a century egg. See, I don't think anyone around here would do that. I'm pretty sure that no one actually does that kind of cuisine around here. Wow. That's interesting. So the only century egg cuisine available in my area, because someone brought it up, there's 3 different Asian restaurants. They do a century egg and pork congee, which I believe is a kind of soup. They all do it. But that's it. They don't actually just sell the century egg for you to eat. They have a century egg and pork congee soup. So, there you go. Okay? No actual century eggs to actually just try for themselves, which sucks. Because that is something interesting. I don't even know what a century egg is. Let's see. Century egg or paidon is a Chinese preserved duck, chicken, or quail egg transformed by a chemical curing process into a translucent, dark-colored egg with a creamy, jelly-like texture and intense ammoniac aroma. The process includes burying the egg in an alkaline mixture of clay, ash, salt, and lime for weeks to months, or modernly soaking them in a solution of salt, calcium hydroxide, and sodium bicarbonate for a shorter period. They're a popular culinary ingredient in Asia, often served with congee, rice porridge, or tofu, and enjoyed for their unique flavor and texture. So it's basically a fermented egg that is disintegrating. That's exactly what it is. Yeah. Anyway, thank you, Brintag, for a $10 super chat. If people have suggestions of things that are like rare or whatever, I can look up and see if they're available. Sadly, this is one that wouldn't even work. You can only get it in the rice porridge. You can't even get it by itself. And hence, that also is some of the limitations of what I do with DSP Tries It. Where I live, cuisines are incredibly limited to Asian, American, Mexican, and every once in a while, you'll have something that's a little bit different. But for the most part, that's it. Like, I live in the Seattle area of Washington State. This is the airport. It's called SeaTac Airport, Seattle-Tacoma. That's where everyone who flies in from Asia lands, and then they'll take, like, connecting flights to fly to the rest of the United States. So because of that, there is an incredibly heavy Asian population here because a lot of people flew to the States and just said, well, we're here, we'll just stay. And they just stayed in this area. So they all opened up businesses, supermarkets, restaurants, all of that culture. And so there's Vietnamese, there's Filipino, there's Thai, there's Chinese, Japanese, Indian. There's even some Mediterranean, Middle Eastern kind of stuff around here. It's crazy, but it's all right here. But that's it. Like, we don't have almost no European at all. Almost no authentic Italian, no French, no German, no British. Like, none of that stuff is around. Sucks because that's kind of like my heritage. That's where I come from. And I'm surrounded by food that's foreign. Like, I don't have anything to be like, taste of home. None of that. Danzak did a $2 super chat, and he says, what are the gas prices in my area? Astronomical, because they just raised taxes again on gas. Yeah, our government here is all Democrat, and they recently decided, the governor in particular, that he was just going to raise taxes across the board for the entire state because they don't know how to run the state. So even though they're raising all this revenue, they spent it all on bullshit and don't have enough money to actually operate the state properly. So he decided to raise taxes again. So all of our taxes across the board have massively increased. Gas tax went up by a ton. So our prices on gas are way, way up again. I think it's like, I want to say almost $5 a gallon again. We're almost there, which is ridiculous. But yeah, we're almost there again. Yeah, maybe we could do something like that, like that congee soup with something else. I don't know, though, because again, to get soup at the restaurant where they're putting it out fresh right out of the kitchen and you're eating it right there at the table versus now they're putting it into a to-go container that needs to be driven to your house. Is it even going to be warm? Is it going to taste like it's supposed to? Is it going to overcook in that container and then taste bad? It's different. That's why I even though a lot of people say, oh, I'm tired of fast food for DSP Tries It. Yeah, but fast food is meant for like delivery. You understand? Like fast food, if you get it there, you get it at your house and 10, 20 minutes later, it's going to almost be exactly the same. It's not a big difference. As opposed to actually fresh prepared restaurant quality food can have a significant difference in quality if you eat it fresh there or if you wait a half an hour, you see? Crumble cookies, we actually were considering. We were either going to do Crumble or we were going to do Crave last year, but then people talked me out of it and said they didn't want it. If you guys wanted something like that, I would consider it. I'd get like a box of variety of cookies and try them. No, I'm not going to get 2 Baja Blasts. I've gotten the original and I know what it is. I'm just going to get the Midnight. Would I ever consider filming or streaming from an actual restaurant? Well, here's the thing. I am not an on-the-fly filmmaker. I don't have equipment to do that. Because, you need some kind of lighting or maybe like a selfie stick so you can look at yourself eating and then you put it back down, you film the food, you use selfie. My phone, I don't mess with that at all. Like, I know my phone has probably a pretty good camera and features. I don't mess with it. So you're talking about, I'd have to essentially do something completely out of the ordinary from me. I'd have to prepare it and figure it out. In addition, here's the problem. Right now, DSP Tries It is a show based on hitting goals. And then when we hit the goals, we do the show, right? I can't do that if we're doing one from a restaurant because I only go out, I'm working 6 days a week, usually. If I'm going to go out to eat, it's got to be scheduled on one of my days off. So now you'd have to wait. Like, for example, let's say that's what we were doing this week. Let's actually saying that this week I was going to go to an Asian restaurant where I was going to try this century egg and congee soup, right? Well, let's say that we hit the goal yesterday. Well, my day off is Saturday. So you guys have to wait all the way till Saturday for me to go to the restaurant and film. By the way, now I have to edit it because it's not a stream anymore. So now I have to actually put that video into a video editor. I probably have to tweak different things, edit around, skip scenes, maybe adjust the volume because when you're at a restaurant, they're playing copyrighted music usually in the restaurant. And obviously you can't have that because YouTube will just block the whole video. So there's so much you have to understand that will go into work to make that happen. And now here's the rub of all of it, right? The people who do that stuff, because I'm well aware there's an entire genre of content on YouTube that's people who go to restaurants and review food. And it could be a fast food restaurant and they eat it in their car, or it could be an actual high-end restaurant and they film it from inside the restaurant and all of that, right? It is all possible. I know. I've seen the videos, okay? But those people actually put high-end production value, editing and everything into it, all that time and effort, because it actually makes them money. Do you get it? Like, they're doing that video as in the hopes that they're going to get 20, 40, 50, 100,000 views, and they're going to make like a couple $100 on that video. I'm not doing these videos for that. You see what I'm saying? Like, this is just supposed to be a silly reward, a quick one-off thing that we do because you guys supported my streams. I have no hopes or aspirations to make money off of DSP Tries It. If that were the case, I want you to think how crazy this is. The typical episode gets between 1,000 and 2,000 views. You know how much money that makes me? Probably like $4. So you're basically changing the idea. The idea of doing DSP Tries It as, hey, we hit the goal, we order the food right away, we do the episode live, it's exciting, it's interactive because you're here for it, and we're all excited because it's something we're all experiencing together. Like, get hyped for it, we're doing it today. Versus, hey, let's hit the goal, and I'll record on Saturday, and I'll have to edit it and put it out later within like a week. You won't be here for it. It's just going to be like a video that just goes live randomly. Oh, by the way, I'll put all that, time and effort and money into it, and it makes me like $4. That's the difference. So you see the difference? I think that's what it is people love to compare me to other people who do things like high-end professionally for a living and shit. You have to understand that I am completely different. I am. I'm doing this as a reward for something we've already done. I'm not looking to have aspirations for this to become, hey, this is my side gig now where I can go to restaurants and I can review the food as a YouTube foodie and stuff like that. No one's ever going to do that with me. Why? Because I'm one of the most harassed people on the internet. No one would ever take me seriously. No matter what, everyone would just deride what I do and say, his opinion doesn't matter. This isn't serious. This is just fucking bullshit. What makes him think he can make a professional video? Blah, blah, blah. Right? So I understand what you're saying, but sadly, the stuff that you're hoping for, gee, I hope that Phil maybe would do some different videos with high-end production value, go to a real restaurant and review the good stuff, right? That would do really well. It wouldn't. It would be the same as everything else. So I know what I'm good at. I know what's my bread and butter. I know what to stick to. And I know that every once in a while, veering away from that, doing silly stuff can be cool. But in the case of like going to an actual restaurant, doing professional level video with lighting and a selfie stick and editing and everything, I just don't see it panning out to be anything that people care about, to be quite frank with you. I don't think people would care. It would probably get the same 1,000 to 2,000 views that we always get on a video. No one would give a crap. I'll say this, never say never, but at the same time, unless people show tons of interest in it, it's probably not going to happen, right? If there was a rallying and people were like, yes, we absolutely want it. Look, we're willing to support it. We want to see you do it. Then I would do it. But, I don't really get that. I don't get that vibe. I get that, there's first of all, there's a bunch of vocal people who are just shitbags who say, oh, DSP Tries It fast food in your office. You're paying $1,500 for you to eat Taco Bell, which is asinine and stupid. No one's paying $1,500 to see me eat Taco Bell, and we all know that. That's their insane spin and justification on something in a toxic way that's not actually happening, okay? But I really feel that for the most part, people are happy with DSP Tries It as is. They are, because we're hitting goals, we're doing the episodes, and they're getting views. So what's the problem? The problem is there's people who are just never satisfied and they complain at everything I do and say it sucks. So to them, even though DSP Tries It's doing well ever since I brought it back a year ago and we're hitting goals and we're getting milestones and we're having fun, that's not good enough. That's terrible. We got to have him change it up completely. Why isn't he doing alcohol? Why isn't he doing a stunt? Why isn't he doing this? Why isn't he filming from a restaurant? Why does he do that? Because no one cares. No one fucking cares. It really is just a ridiculous thing when people want to say that it's not working. It's working. It's been a year. It's working. And then when we don't do it, like the past 2 weeks we didn't do it, it wasn't working. It wasn't until I brought it back. Now it's working again. Someone tipped $2 says, do you remember any of the old Electric Company animations from when you were a kid? If you're talking about the educational stuff, like the one about how it tells how a bill becomes a law and stuff like that. Yeah, I remember those. What it was there was these musical cartoons. They were very short. They weren't very lengthy. They were a few minutes each. And they were like a catchy song that would be sung, but it was like animation with it that would explain things like that, like growing up, like how a bill becomes a law and how our government works and stuff like that in the United States. And they were made by a company called, I believe, the Electric Company was the name of the company. That's what he said in the tip here. Yeah, I totally remember those. I think, yeah, that's right. Schoolhouse Rock. Schoolhouse Rock. Yeah. That's what it was called. Schoolhouse Rock. There you go. I remember those. Sure. Those worked because it was catchy, right? It was very catchy, and I liked how catchy it was. Okay, so again, If anyone has any suggestions of something new for DSP Tries It, I'm all ears. I'd like to hear it, but I need to know within the next few days because we need to know what we're working toward. Like right now, we're working toward a goal, but what's the reward? We're not sure yet. My pick is Katsu Burger, the return. I think returning back there would be fun, delicious. You would like it because it would be visually appealing. We're trying some cuisine that's a little different than normal stuff. I think it would work well. But if you guys have a better idea, if you hear that, a fast food chain has something new coming out that you're interested in seeing me try, something like that, I'm down for that too, but I want to know. Okay? One final thing for today. Okay? We were just talking about it. Next week is a 4-day streaming week for me because I have 2 days off, Thursday and Friday of next week. Okay? Okay. Let me show you what we're looking at for the schedule, and let's see if this looks good or if there's something that we should do to change it, because I think next week I should bring back one chill stream. So here's what we're looking at. Today it's Suicode N2 and the conclusion of Gears of War Reloaded's campaign. We're going to wrap it up tonight, the hardcore campaign run, which has been very challenging. Tomorrow, I am going to do a podcast in the morning because Nintendo Direct is tomorrow morning. So we're going to react to anything interesting that came out of that Nintendo Direct live on the show tomorrow. Okay, it'll be a great weekending podcast. Then we're going to do more Hollow Knight Silksong. And again, if you guys continue to engage and support with Silksong, I will keep it in the rotation as a daytime stream. Okay? The night stream tomorrow night is Friday Night Fights Capcom vs. SNK2. It may be the final stream of it. Why? Because last week it was really hard to get competition. I could barely find opponents. And that's not good. It means that the collection is dying. It's been about 3 months. It's about time. The collection's going to die out because it's not crossplay. So maybe what we do, if this doesn't go well, perhaps we give fighting games a rest for a few weeks and we come back to it when that Mortal Kombat Legacy Collection comes out, which is rumored to be coming out in November. Excuse me, September or October. Okay? I'm off from streaming on Saturday. It's my day off. When I come back on Sunday, it's going to be Chronos The New Dawn, continuing on. And then my idea, as you can see, was to do a chill night stream on that night. Now, the quick thing to do would just be to do American Truck Simulator again. Because now we skipped a week. It's been a week removed. People seem to be upset with me that I didn't do American Truck Sim this week. To which I answered very matter-of-factly, well, you didn't show up and engage in support with the last Truck Sim stream. Why would I keep playing a game that it seems like you guys have lost interest in? And then I got all this backlash. Oh, it was only one stream. Oh, we just couldn't make it that night. Every excuse in the book. Okay? So here's the thing. I would be willing to bring it back one night only on Sunday. And if people show up and engage and support, then I'll play it again regularly as our chill stream in the schedule. But if I play it on Sunday night and we have low attendance, low engagement, and we don't hit the support goal, I'm pulling the plug on this game indefinitely, and we're probably not bringing it back unless there's a really good reason. All right? I like Truck Sim. I have a couple drinks, we chill, we have a fun conversation, we drive around, it's a good time, it's a great interactive stream, right? But I need people to show up for it. I'm not streaming for myself. I'm streaming for you. If you don't show up and support it, then I'm not going to stream it. I'll do something else. It's pretty fair assessment, no, for anyone who's doing things, as a job, that you do the work that people require you to do and want and will reciprocate with support to do that said work. No one just goes to work and does a day of work and receives no pay because no one wanted them to do that work, right? Do you know of anyone who goes to a building and completely mops the floor of the entire building and then just walks out the front door and doesn't accept pay? And then the people who own the building walk out, they're like, why is the floor so clean? Who asked anyone to do that? We didn't want that. We don't care. No. You do things people want, and then you get support for it. Get it? So I'm willing to do that. Now, if you guys have a different idea of something to do instead of Truck Sim, I'm all ears. Okay? I'd love to hear what you like to do instead of Truck Sim. But that's up to you. Or we can simply put, just do Truck Sim. Okay? So let's see. I'll listen to your feedback today and tomorrow, make that judgment call. And then Sunday night will be a chill stream. What it will be dependent on your feedback. Okay? Okay. Monday, more Hollow Knight as a major stream. Again, as long as you guys keep showing up and engaging and supporting. If it falls off, if tomorrow we play Hollow Knight and we only make $50, I'm not playing it as the daytime stream on Monday. Okay? I'm not. So we need people to show up, engage, and support. And as you do, I'll keep it in the rotation. Monday night, what I would like to do is a one-off night stream of the Gears of War Reloaded multiplayer. We actually did this right when it released, but then I got massive feedback saying, play the campaign. We want to see the campaign. So I've been playing the campaign now for a week and a half, 2 weeks. We're going to finish it tonight, but I didn't really get to jump into the multiplayer. So I think we'll go and do a one-off stream of the multiplayer Monday night and see how it does. If it does well, keep it in the rotation. If it's like boring, everyone hates it, then we don't have to do it again. But I do want to try it again. And by the way, people seem to like the actual, what was it? Is it ranked play? Whatever the game mode is where it's more serious because you only have one life. That was the mode that everyone seemed to like. Okay. The other modes where you have infinite respawns and everything, people didn't like as much. So I'm down for that. The competitive player, whatever it is, I'm down for that. Okay. So let's see how that goes. Now, the days you don't see are Tuesday and Wednesday because it's only a 4-day streaming week. So Tuesday will be Suikoden 2 HD. And if Hollow Knight is doing well, I'd like to do perhaps like a bonus stream of Hollow Knight. Probably like Tuesday night. And then I'd probably do Chronos The New Dawn as the day stream on Wednesday. And then Wednesday night could either be fighting games, or maybe we could do another stream of Gears. Or if people really want it because it's doing so well, we could even do a bonus stream of Silksong. I'm okay with that too. Okay, it's kind of a weird week because it's such a short week. It's a weird one. But then after that, the next week, not only is it going to be an extra long week, the last week of September, but we're going to have multiple new game releases and a marathon coming up in the last week of September. We've got Silent Hill F, Sonic Racing Cross Worlds, and the Worst Games Ever marathon. So that's going to be a wild, crazy end to the month for sure. Okay? So what I need is your feedback. Do you want to see American Truck Sim come back on Sunday night? Or would you prefer something different? And if you prefer something different, what is it exactly that you would like as that stream instead? And based on your feedback and on your support, how much Hollow Knight do you want? If you support all the Hollow Knight streams, we'll play more. If you don't, we'll play less. I'm willing to do extra Hollow Knight streams next week on the night streams, but we have to see how things go, okay? I received a gifted membership. Ian has gifted a membership to the community, and it went to Dominic. Thank you to Ian. I appreciate that, Ian. That's our first membership of the day. That counts for $3 of support. And Dominic is actually quite happy and just thanked Ian. He's like, wow, thanks, Ian. Very nice. Thank you, Ian, for supporting the community here. How nice of you to gift that. Very, very nice, right? Okay. Grandmaster Scrub says, can I prepay a few bucks towards American Truck Simulator? Well, here's the thing. Here's what I've been saying, okay? Let's say particularly there's a game in the rotation you like, but you can't attend that stream. Absolutely, you can support that game, but you have to let me know. Like, let's say we do American Truck Simulator on Sunday night, and we come short of the goal. It's like $100, and that's it. If you were to do a super thanks on the video, if you were to leave a tip overnight, if you were to come by the stream the next day and say, hey, sorry Truck Sim didn't hit the goal, but I want to support that game, so here's $50. Let's hit that goal. I'll count it. Okay? But that's how it works. I don't want anyone prepaying, right? We're not even sure we're doing Truck Sim yet, so let's not prepay Truck Sim. But after the fact, if we don't hit it, then let's go ahead and, see if we can rally after. I'm okay with that. I understand that not everyone can show up for every stream. No, I did not watch the Acclaim presentation that apparently showed a bunch of new games. No, I have not. What I would say is tomorrow we're going to have a big React-themed We're going to have a big React-themed Level 1 podcast since we're already going to be reacting to whatever happens during the Nintendo event. So if there's things from that Acclaim event you want to see me react to, nominate them tomorrow, and I'll probably watch those as well. We'll watch them all would okay? Would I try Peak for a chill stream? It's fun and chill. What is Peak? Is that on Steam? I've never heard of it. Oh, by the way, guys, I found a game. I think you're going to love this. I want to show you this right now, okay? I found a game I think we're going to want to do for the Worst Games Ever marathon. Are you ready for this? I don't know if you're ready. You ready for this game? Watch this shit. I'm going to be honest. I can't take credit for this. My wife found this. Kat found this on Steam and said, you got to check this out, and you should do this for the Worst Games Ever Marathon. This game just came out, but this person has actually made 2 other previous games. You ready? Watch this shit. Look at this. So, if you don't recognize it, because maybe you can't because it was in motion, what this game is, it's a fighting game, but not really. What this person did, they watched all the famous kung fu movies out there, every single one, and they took the characters out of the movies and put them into a fighting game with their authentic fighting styles from the movies without any permission whatsoever. So Jet Li is in this, Bruce Lee is in this, Jackie Chan is in this, Chuck Norris is in this. Every martial artist who was in those movies of that era is in this game, but not without their real names, because he couldn't put it in there. He gets sued. But as you can see, do you really think that all those fighting styles align in a real fighting game? No. So the game is an awful mishmash mess, and it looks like shit. And it just came out. So here it is. That's Jet Li right there. There's Bruce Lee right there. There's different versions of Bruce Lee from his different movies. Sound effects sound atrociously bad. I think that's supposed to be Jackie Chan, but I'm not sure. Jackie Chan's in this. I know he is. That's obviously Bruce Lee and Chuck Norris right there. See? So this guy has made 3 of these games. This is his latest one. It just came out like a few days ago. It's only like $15. So if you guys think that's funny for like the Worst Games Marathon, I think that would be quite entertaining. That you guys could like vote in the chat, what character do you want to see me pit against what character? But it says in it, it's not a serious game. Like, it's not meant to be a competitive fighting game. It's just meant to be a fuck around game. So that could be pretty good. I think that'd be a good one, right? Okay. No, Bookworm says there's no way he won't get sued. He's already made 2 of these and never got sued. That's why he made a 3rd one. This is the latest one. There were 2 before that were worse. So I added that to the list here. It's called Shaolin versus Wu-Tang Legends. I'm going to add that to the list. There we go. That should be pretty good for the Worst Games Marathon. I think that'll actually be very funny. Where people could get into it. You could vote, oh, I want Jackie Chan versus Jet Li and shit. We could have these fights, right? Be pretty cool. All right, folks. That is it for today's show. I hope that you enjoyed the Level 1 podcast. Tomorrow will be my final show of the week, and it will be a huge react show. We'll be reacting to the stuff from Nintendo Direct, as well as anything else that you guys want me to react to. Notably, people are saying there was this Acclaim show. This will be the time for it. A good week-ending react extravaganza, okay? So thank you very much for hanging out on the show, and I'll see you tomorrow for the conclusion of my streaming week. Peace out, everyone, and I'll see you then.